Shakespeare wrote more than tragedy. Shakespeare tragedies tend to receive a lot more attention than other works not considered tragedies. This is tragic itself because Shakespeare wrote much more than just tragedies. His other plays can be categorized as comedy, history, or romance. Shakespeare's comedies tend to be lighter in tone and more optimistic than his tragedies. In contrast to his tragedies, which involve the death of several characters in each play, death is absent in his comedies. Although there are some plot twists of which some are believed to be dead, like in Twelfth Night. The comedies are rampant with jokes and lots of humor. Good footnotes will help readers come to appreciate Shakespearean comedy. The comedies tend to have clean, happy endings, but this is not the case for all of them, as some, like The Two Gentlemen of Verona and Measure for Measure. The comedies tend to neatly wrap up with happy endings, but some, like The Two Gentlemen of Verona and Measure for Measure, are an exception. Those plays may leave readers pondering, what just happened, at their conclusion. You may wonder, what is a history play by Shakespeare? Will there actually be a history lesson involved? Is a history play even entertaining, or will it just read like a textbook or biography? Shakespeare's history plays are actually just as dramatic and entertaining as any of his other plays. These plays can be seen as Renaissance versions of 21st century historical dramas, just as films will contain a few embellishments of historical events and figures to increase dramatic effect. So do the history plays contain dramatized versions of English kings and their lives. His history plays even consist of 2 tetralogies. In both, a series of 4 plays follows the same characters over several years. Shakespeare wrote a set of plays scholars to term romances late in his career. These are Pericles, Cymbeline, The Winter's Tale, The Tempest, and The Two Noble Kinsmen. Love is not central to the romances as the name would imply. The romances contain a lot more fantasy and magic compared to his other plays. The romance's first 2 to 3 acts tend to contain all the elements of a potential tragedy, but then in later acts they turn into stories of faith and redemption for the characters who commit devastating faults. Unlike the comedies, some characters do die and they are irretrievable losses. This has led to his romances also being called the tragic comedies. His romances also feature very touching and heartwarming reunions of long-lost loved ones believed dead. For what I consider his most visually stunning character revival and family reunion, I strongly encourage anyone to read The Winter's Tale. A lot of emphasis is placed on Shakespeare's tragedies, but they are far from being his only seminal works, and plenty of the comedies, histories, and romances are as moving and entertaining. To get a full experience of Shakespeare, 1 or more plays from each genre should be read or viewed.